Hey, what is up, fellow Raiders? This is Vulcan Dan, and in today's Raid Shadow Legends video, I will give you my thoughts and opinions on which skills will be useful for the new Hydra clan boss that we are expecting to come out real soon. And I will also give you some of my champion recommendations so that you can prepare, of course, because you will need a team of 6 for each Hydra clan boss key, and you will be given 3 keys for the entire week. So that is a total of 18 champions, because as you know by now, you cannot reuse the same champion for your next Hydra clan boss key for that week. You can use another copy of that champion, but you can't use that specific champion that you used for the previous key that you use. All right, so for example, if you have multiple, let's say, Duchess, you can use the second Duchess for your second key, just not the first Duchess that you use. All right, so we also have a list of new buffs and debuffs here, mostly. So yeah, so these are from the Hydra. Life Barrier acts similar to a shield. Poison Clouds will make your hits weak hits. So, but you can counteract this with HP burn. You really don't want weak hits. Not only do you hit really for really small amount of damage, but you also cannot place debuffs. So HP burn can counteract this. So it's looking like AoE HP burn might be really helpful for the Hydra clan boss. We also have this Head of Wrath that uses Vengeance, which gives a huge AoE attack with 300% damage. So that one you would want to be careful of that. Maybe bringing in someone with unkillable or block damage whenever this happens. All right, we also have Stone Skin, but this one is not a Hydra skill. This one is from the gear. That is a reward from beating the Hydra clan boss. And we have Serpent's Will that decreases all incoming damage by 75% if a new Hydra head replaces the one that you just killed. So yeah, Pain Link. This one is a sort of like a reflect damage, 15% of all damage taken. This one's quite nasty as well. We will talk more about this later. Petrification is not a Hydra clan boss skill, but it's just a nice way to introduce bombs or making bombs more useful in this game. Deals 300% more damage. And of course, we have Decapitated when the Hydra's head reaches 0. The 8 HP reaches 0. All right. So of course, we also have a lot of these details from the patch 5.0 highlights. I will not go through all of these because we have talked about these before in a previous video, but I will just highlight some things that I think are very important in each of these heads. All right, so for this Head of Torment, as you can see, if he's attacked without with a champion that does not have Perfect Veil, he will place a True Fear for 1 turn. So it looks like Perfect Veil is going to be very important for this fight. Not only for the Head of Torment, but in general, because of course you will get less damage if you have Perfect Veil. So even if you're not facing the Head of Torment, I think it's quite useful to have Perfect Veil on your team. We also have this one right here, wherein he receives double damage from HP burn, and this is the guy with Poison Cloud. So if you're facing the Head of Blight, make sure you have an AoE HP burn champion on your team. And even though you don't, or you're not facing the Head of Blight in that rotation, having AoE HP burn might also be a good idea, because you do have 4 Hydra heads to fight against. And of course, HP burns damage goes up whenever there are more heads, or there are more enemies with HP burn, similar to what we do against the spider boss, right? All right, and we also have this guy. This guy casts this debuff called Pain Link, and he will also provoke your champion with the highest crit damage. So this will most likely be your nuker, and he will cast that provoke. And of course, with the Pain Link there, this might kill your squishy nuker. So yeah, so having some sort of a block debuff might be really helpful, preferably a whole team block debuff. So especially to deal with this guy, the Head of Suffering. And yeah, this guy also will have a 75% chance of redirecting an enemy attack onto another random head, but will not occur if you have Hex. So maybe using a Hex champion might be a good idea as well. Of course, we have Vildrax, which is the Fragment Epic champion that we just finished. But later on, I will give you one Hex champion that was we all thought was not very useful, but I think will be very good for this HYDRA clan boss. All right, so let's go back to my account and I'll show you which champions I think should be good for this HYDRA clan boss. All right, so it seems like we would want some champions that would place Perfect Veil, some champions that would block debuffs, and some champions that will bring AoE HP burn. And also some champions that can revive, because I think we can expect a lot of champions to fall over when we're fighting the HYDRA clan boss. All right, so first one is if you want a champion that places Veil, block debuffs, and revives, I think you already know who I'm talking about, and it's going to be Duchess. I am very fortunate to have pulled Duchess as one of my early legendary champions, and she was a hard carry. I was able to finish level 20 in all of the dungeons once I pulled her. And yeah, I think she will be an MVP in this HYDRA clan boss fight. Unfortunately, I only have one. So of course, if I use her in my first key, I can't use her in my second and third key. She has this shield on her A1, a block debuff, and Perfect Veil on her A2, and a revive on her A3, plus this nice passive that would of course really help out a lot in mitigating the damage from the HYDRA clan boss. Plus her aura can be used for the HYDRA clan boss as well. So her entire kit is really perfect for this fight. So Duchess will come out as MVP. If you do not have a Duchess though, some other champion like Rector Drath can place Perfect Veil on your entire team as well. Plus, Rector Drath has a single target revive. Of course, it's not as good as a Duchess revive, but if you don't have a Duchess, then I think Rector Drath will be very good for you, and she will also increase the resistance of all allies under Veil or Perfect Veil by 50. So yes, I think she will be very good. She also has this nice decrease attack A1 to come in handy. All right, so yeah, Duchess, Rector Drath, some of your choices for a Veil champion. For block debuffs, we do have a lot of choices. Of course, we have Siphi from the Undead Horde. So if you have her, you're probably going to use her in the HYDRA clan boss. I unfortunately do not. So yeah, so she has, of course, a revive, block debuff, increased defense, increased speed. So yeah, she's going to be very useful indeed. Another champion that we had as a fusion is Brogni. Brogni has this where's that? Block debuff on his A3, also has shields. So yeah, he's going to be very helpful, I think, for the HYDRA clan boss. Also has a single target HP burn on his A1, so that helps as well. I would also like to call out Riho Bone Spear. We had a ×10 event. I think that was a ×10 plus a ×2 for Shadowkin faction. So I was fortunate to be able to pull Riho, who is a Void legendary there. She has this nice heal on her A1, a huge A2, even though it's just a single target, but you can place a lot of these nasty debuffs on one of the HYDRA clan boss heads, and she removes all debuffs, places block debuffs, and then heals everyone. And she also has a nice passive that will return the debuff that is placed on her. So yeah, if you're fortunate to have her, you're probably going to use her in one of your HYDRA clan boss teams. And lastly, another champion that I was also fortunate to have, Void legendary Cardiel. Yeah, so he has his kit is a mix of both offensive and defensive skills. He has this block debuffs on his A2 and an ally attack on his A3 to take down one of those heads really quickly. So yeah, and also don't forget his aura, all battles by 19%, very handy. And of course, for AoE HP burn, we have a few options. We have Crypt King Growl. Of course, he was recently buffed He has this nice AoE HP burn on his A2, and of course he has this decreased attack on his A1, which comes in handy. But yeah, it's more of this AoE HP burn. If you don't have Crypt King Growl like myself, I don't have him. But if you happen to have Mordecai, yeah, I think he will be very good for the Hydra clan boss as well. AoE HP burn here with an increased attack, and of course decreased turn meter, and fills your own turn meter here on his A2. Yeah, so Mordecai is sort of your budget AoE HP burn options. Of course, you have a few others if you're on a budget like Ultimate Galek, of course, but you need someone to put increased attack on him. And yeah, we do have others like, for example, who do we have? Venus, yeah, also brings an AoE HP burn and decreased defense and weaken. So yeah, so you do have a lot of options for AoE HP burn, even though you're not facing that Hydra head that gets double damage from HP burn. Having 4 bosses at the same time, you will get a lot of benefit from using an AoE HP burn champion. And lastly, don't forget about Hex. While Hex might not be the most useful skill to have here, but I think Ruel the Hunt Master, which is of course one of our recent fusion champions, while he has not seen much playtime, he's not being used a lot, but I think he will shine in this Hydra clan boss. He has this decreased defense A1 and will transfer a random debuff from himself to the target if he's under Hex. This might be a useful A1 for the Hydra clan boss. AoE that places an extra hit on enemies under Hex and will ignore 25% of each target's defense if there are 4 or more enemies under Hex debuff. So that's quite a huge nuke right there. And he has this A3 that increases accuracy on all allies for 2 turns, places a hex on all enemies for 2 turns, and then remember, you want Veil, so he places perfect Veil on himself for 2 turns as well and fills his turn meter by 50%. I think his entire kit from his A1, A2, and A3 are all very useful for the Hydra clan boss. And of course, he has this nice passive as well that decreases their speed, their resistance, and will also increase the damage enemies under Hex debuffs receive by 10% and reduce their heals by 30%. So yeah, I think Ruel, this is the time when he will truly shine, which is the Hydra clan boss. Because even in my Faction Wars team, I don't use this guy, and of course, it's such a waste. We just had, this cool looking legendary that places Hex. But yeah, unfortunately, we do have, of course, from that daily login reward, Cleopteryx. Of course, we're going to get our last fragments on him very, very soon if you're playing every single day. But I took a look at his kit, his or her kit. Yeah, and I don't think she's going to be useful for the Hydra clan boss, even though she does place Hex. It seems that her kit is really mostly for waves. She has this fear on her A3, which might not be useful for the Hydra clan boss, and she places block active skills. I think you cannot place block active skills on the Hydra clan boss either. And yeah, so even though we are expecting, so most players will get Cleopteryx as a free champion really, really soon, just in time for the Hydra clan boss, but I don't think she is the right champion for that job. If you're looking for a Hex champion, go with Ruel. He's much better. All right, so those are my suggestions for skills and champions that you can use for Hydra clan boss. Of course, right now we still do not know much, so some of these might still change. We will know more once that the update comes out soon. And yeah, I'm really excited for that one. It's going to take a lot of experimentation, but it really looks like that we won't be able to have that one team like what we're doing with the traditional clan boss we're in. We just use that team over and over again every single day, and we know how much damage it will do. But yeah, this one will have to do a lot of thinking. I don't know if players want to do more thinking, but this is going to be a nice, difficult challenge in the next few months. All right, that is it for today's video. I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video.